Hi guys, and welcome. My name is Todd Worley. I'm a blogger and online entrepreneur, and well, today I kind of want to dive a little bit into the world of HTML coding, okay? Because I know that this is probably going to be one of the most difficult areas for the average person to actually learn when they first get online, when they first start developing the website and all that good stuff, because you look at this coding and the thing looks like it's in a complete foreign language, right? And I mean, at this point you might as well be kind of reading Chinese, you know? Well, that's because it actually is kind of a different language. It's the language of the internet. It's what the internet actually interprets. It's what Google algorithms and stuff like that actually crawl over, and all this good stuff. And actually HTML coding stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, and what HTML coding really does is it describes web documents. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much all HTML coding does. It describes web documents that are on the web, and it allows you to input things into these documents and stuff like that. Okay, so that's pretty much the premise of HTML coding, but let's get a little bit more into it, okay, for the average blogger here, because trust me, it's not as hard as it actually looks when you first look at it, okay? So let's go over some simple codes here. Okay, so one thing you gotta realize is a code is always in brackets, okay? The code is always inside right here in these brackets, okay? That is where the code is written. There can be spaces inside these brackets, but no spacing outside of the bracket. So like if I had a code written in here, and then I had some words right here, there'd be no space right there, okay? Alrighty, so that's pretty much coding 101 right there. And in these brackets, what we have element tags, okay, is what they call them. And pretty much when you think of HTML coding, you gotta think of it in terms of acronyms and abbreviations, okay? Because I know when you look at it, it kind of looks like gibberish, but if you start to really kind of look a little bit closer, you can start to realize that a lot of this coding stuff is actually more in acronyms and abbreviations, and you can actually sit there and start to decipher this stuff yourself, okay? So let's go over some of these acronyms and abbreviations here. So right now we have P for paragraph. Okay, pretty simple. Paragraph is actually just normal text on a web document or whatnot. We have B for bold. Okay, once again, just takes this first letter right here. Boom. LI, this is list item. This would be for like your number list or your bulletin points or stuff like that. Okay. Now, I know that there's also a lot of questions out there about the different kinds of HTML coding. Like you hear about, HTML5, XHTML, CSS. Well, let's go over this right now. All of it is based off the same construct. Okay, it's all HTML coding. Okay, actually HTML, XHTML, and HTML5 are just actually later versions of HTML coding. Okay. Think of it like, on your device, how your app always updates, and after it updates or whatnot, it has a different version number and stuff like that. Same thing with HTML coding, pretty much, okay? HTML5 is actually the latest update of HTML coding, and what HTML5 actually did was help to incorporate videos and media and stuff like that. It just made it a little bit easier for media tags and all that good stuff, okay? Read on in the blog. I kind of explain it a little bit more down in there, okay, guys? But pretty much that's it. Okay. Now you're probably wondering about CSS or cascading style sheets, okay? And pretty much all CSS is a parameter for design, okay? It tells colors where to be, how to render. It also goes into different font styles and stuff like that. That's what CSS is, okay? It's all just about style. It's about making things look pretty. It's about doing the colors and all that good stuff, okay? So don't think of it in any more terms of than just HTML, because that's pretty much all it is, okay? It all works off the same construct, okay? Now then, when we work with HTML, I know that there's people out there, you know, it gets a little bit hard to actually work with HTML and stuff like that, and learning where to put things and all that good stuff. Well, when you're working with HTML coding, a lot of people out there will actually tell you where to insert things and all this good stuff. So you're probably wondering, how does the average blogger actually work with HTML coding? Here it is. Like I said, we don't actually write this code ourselves. What we do is we go out and we copy and paste. That's the big secret right there, okay, to writing HTML coding. We don't actually write it. We go out, we find forums, we find blogs, W3 Schools is a great, phenomenal place if you actually want to get a little bit more in depth with your education about HTML coding, okay? Again, that's w3schools.com. Fabulous place. Go there if you want to learn more. That's actually where I learned a lot of my HTML coding skills. Okay, and trust me, I'm not a coder. I do the rules of copy and paste, okay? So, but when it comes to, you know, copy and pasting and stuff like that, one of the things that kind of really helps with the copy and pasting and stuff like that is to kind of know where to put things, okay? So, like right here with the list item or whatnot, say for number lines whatnot, since we know that, you know, number lines or number lists, you really can't do spaces in between the items themselves, the numbered items or whatnot. So what if I want a space, okay? Well, I'll go and I'll find a code that would look a lot like this. Style equals margin 10 pics or something along those lines, okay? I'll actually have this actually down in the blog area or whatnot, okay? So anyways, I go and find code, and I'll come across a code kind of like this, okay? And granted, it doesn't tell me exactly how to use this code, okay? But I know from experience and stuff like this, and this is one thing that you gotta realize, is that you will get a lot more familiar with using HTML coding the more that you use it, okay? Think of it like being in Mexico or something like that for 3 years and you don't know a lick of Spanish. If you're in Mexico for 3 years, I bet you're gonna pick up on a little bit of Spanish. Same thing with HTML coding. So something like this, I know that style usually goes behind the element tag right here. So I would actually put this right there to create the code, L, I, and then of course there's spacing in between the codes, so I'd space, style equals margin so and so to actually get the space that I need in my numbered items and stuff like that. Guys, this is pretty much the whole premise behind HTML coding, okay? It's not that hard whatsoever, and once you start working with it a little bit more, you're gonna find this out on your own, okay? For beginners on HTML coding, what I would suggest is to actually go and start finding some code combos, okay? Code combos are great because then it starts making you feel like you're a little bit more proficient in HTML coding, okay? Now what I mean by code combos is, let's take, man, pen is dying here. Let's take the code element font, okay? Now we know that there's several things that we can actually do with font, right? We can change the color. Man, let me get a new pen here. I seem to be having a pen dying day. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so we got the code element font here. Okay, and there's a couple things that we can do with it. We can change the color. We can change the style. And we can change the size. Alright, these are great kind of code combos to get familiar with, you know. And this will work for other codes and stuff like that too, once you start getting a little bit more familiar. But for like font, what if I want to change the color? Well, pretty simple. I would go font color equals and then whatever color that I want, green, orange, blue, maroon, you name it. you can pretty much do it. Okay, same for the size. Okay, font size equals, and then a number, I think between 1 through 7, possibly 8, but you know, I really don't like my font going this too big on on a web document or whatnot. But this is pretty much the whole premise behind it. Okay, learning some code combos is great because this will also help you with other codes and stuff like that. Just like with this style right here and how I use that for the list items. Okay, I mean, this is all stuff that you can easily learn on your own, guys. Okay, read on in this blog. I do go in a little bit more in depth with everything on this blog. Okay, anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video, and God bless.